Today I'm going to be reacting to your Raider hot takes. This is where I give you guys a platform to voice your thoughts, whether good, bad, or anything in between. So if you guys want to be featured on the next episode, then make sure to follow me on Instagram at Simone Raider, because that's where I'm going to be asking for your Raider hot takes after every single game. As always, if this is the very first time you guys are coming across this channel and you love Raiders content, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification icon button to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. That being said, let's get into your Raider hot takes. Jamal Adams felt like the most doubted coming into camp, but I believe he will have a great year ahead of him. First of all, shout out to the Ooze Raiders Resistance, one of the best pages on Instagram. They keep you up to date with all your Raider news. That being said though, I totally agree with you with Jamal Adams. I don't think a lot of people expected too much out of him coming over here, especially coming off of an injury, but knowing Pete Carroll and knowing this team and knowing that the Raiders moved him to the linebacker position and seeing what he's been able to do in training camp, practice, and even in the very first preseason game, the future is bright for Jamal Adams, and it makes me more excited about this team moving forward, especially at the position, and seeing that he looks faster, quicker, and just playing great out on the line of scrimmage, as well as just seeing him pop out onto the screen in this last game really gives me a lot of hope in him moving forward. And I do believe that he's going to have a great season ahead of him. Pete Carroll is one guy that is known for putting players in the best position to succeed, and Jamal Adams is a prime example of that. We hyped up our current starters, and we'll get massive starter changes throughout the season. Cam Miller looked good, Dylan Laube can break out, etc, etc. Now, I'm not gonna lie with you, I am guilty of always hyping up the team, first team, second team, the team in general going into the season, because I'm always being optimistic. I'm always keeping my hopes up high until the season does start, and that's when they let us down every single year. But I feel like this year is a little bit different, right? Because we got Pete Carroll, a coach that actually has a lot of experience in winning and building a culture. And that's one main reason why I was really excited with him coming over here to Las Vegas. On top of that, he's bringing in weapons like Geno Smith, a solid quarterback, at least a top 12 quarterback, top 10 quarterback in the league right now. We drafted Ashton Jeanty, who was the best running back in the draft. We still got Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer. That tight end duo is going to be crazy. And we got a lot of young players that can come out and probably show up this year alongside of Jacoby Myers as well. But I know naming all of that is one thing, and actually having them going out there and doing something is a different thing. And I know after watching this very first preseason game, all of our expectations were really high to see this offense go out there and show out, but they didn't. And that's the truth. But after hearing what Pete Carroll said in his recent press conference, that the Raiders were just running a basic vanilla offense and we really didn't get anything going. I mean, Geno Smith only played one drive. Ashton Jeanty only had 3 carries. We barely got to see anything out there. So that's why I'm going to take that first game with a grain of salt, because it's just preseason at the end of the day. And I know, like I said earlier, we have a lot of expectations for them to do something, but we got to remember that it's preseason and we don't want to give away all our secrets, right? If this was week 1, week 2, then of course I can understand your point in this, and I can understand why we would be worried. But again, it's just preseason. I also know that the Raiders are known for, you know, switching up the starters here and there, but I feel like this season, as long as everybody's healthy, everybody should be good to go. As far as Cam Miller and Dylan Laube, they definitely showed out in the first game. It was great to see Dylan Laube finally get more touches and look a little bit more explosive in the run game. Cam Miller, of course, I'm gonna talk about him a little bit later, but he definitely made a mark for himself in this very first game. So I think as of right now, going into the season, I think everybody has a right into at least having some high hopes moving forward and hyping up this team. The offensive line will prove they're actually good. Now, this is the type of energy that I do like to see, though. Yes, I know that the offensive line didn't really look too good last week in the first half, especially with the starters, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I do believe that the offensive line might be the position that's going to be having a lot of moving parts. Heck, we already talked about Jordan Meredith. We already talked about JPJ playing right guard, and you know, DJ Glaze is going to be playing right tackle. But as far as the offensive line, I think that they had to kind of gel. They got to get things going. And the more reps that they do have, I do believe that they'll play a lot better. Like I said earlier, looking at the second half of last week, we got to see AOC look a little bit more comfortable in the pocket, moving around. The run game looked pretty good. And that was one main reason why we were able to come back. That being said, though, the offensive line has to look good this year. With all the moving pieces that we do have with the new quarterback, with a star running back in the making, we can only succeed if this offensive line holds up their end. Now, I will say that I had a plethora of takes that had something to do with Shador Sanders. Everybody's saying that we should have never passed on Shador Sanders. We should have drafted Shador Sanders. Look it, I totally agree with you guys. I was one guy that was really high on Shador Sanders. Heck, I was down to draft him number 6 overall just to come over here and back up Geno Smith to be the future of this team. But nobody expected him to drop as far as he did, which I think is still crazy. And on top of that, still crazy that the Raiders didn't even take a chance on this dude at that point. Just seeing his mannerisms, what he's been doing during the offseason at training camp, at practice. We've been hearing a lot of great things about him in Browns training camp, but then to see him go out there in the very first preseason game and to look as good as he did out there, I'm like, damn. Imagine how he would have been if he was donning the silver and black. Golly. I feel like he would have been a better option to back up Geno Smith than AOC. Should the Raiders have gotten Shador Sanders instead? If you're asking me, Samoan Raider, I say yes, easily. I think he would have definitely fit the mold with this team. And imagining having Ashton Jency and Shador Sanders in the same draft would have been crazy. But the only reason why I'm not too worried and I'm not too hell-bent over it is because the guy that we drafted in the 6th round in the same draft, that guy being Cam Miller. Now, shout out to the nation. I got a lot of takes on the Raiders possibly making Cam Miller the starter. We got Cam Miller, quarterback 1. Cam Miller is our next franchise quarterback. Heck, Geno getting benched for Cam Miller. I know right now that the Cam Miller hype train is at an all-time high after one preseason game. And that's the thing. It's just one preseason game. And I know us Raider fans, we get hyped up about everything. And I was hyped up too. And I am still hyped up about Cam Miller and excited to see what Cam Miller can do moving forward. But after seeing him in that first game, there's a lot of great things to take out of it. And if he continues to keep that same energy and play the same way he did in that first game, then there's going to be a real discussion on whether or not Cam Miller could be the future or be the backup as right now, or heck, take over Geno Smith's spot as the QB1. We've seen it done before, not with Geno Smith though, but with Pete Carroll. And shout out to Pete Carroll. One thing that he's always been preaching is competition. And at the end of the day, he's going to put the best 11 players on the offense and defensive side of the ball, no matter what your status is, no matter where you were drafted, how much you're getting paid. We've seen him do it with Matt Flynn and Russell Wilson. And if Cam Miller continues to ball out like he did, who knows if we could see him overthrow Geno Smith. My honest opinion, though, I don't see it happening. I think Geno Smith was brought over here to at least be the starter unless he fucks up. I think it's going to take Geno Smith to really shit bricks out there and throw multiple interceptions per game for him to get benched. That being said, I'm not taking anything away from what Cam Miller has done so far. I would just like to see it more consistently. And if he continues to play like this throughout the preseason, I think he definitely is a lock for that QB2 spot. And the future could be bright for the Raiders at the QB position. I mean, this is a guy that was basically handpicked by Tom Brady, and that's saying something. And in his first game, he looked damn near flawless. So, like I said, I'm just excited to see what he can do moving forward and keep that same energy. And the last one being playoffs? Playoffs? We talking about playoffs? Now, shout out to the Usto, man. But I think that the Raiders this year is going to be a competitive team. And I feel like the Raiders will be scratching, at least knocking on the door of the playoffs. I don't really see it happening. I'm kind of 50-50 on the whole situation because I just don't want to get my hopes up high. But it's definitely something that can happen. The Raiders have all the right pieces, but they just got to show it out there. Like I said, this last game, we didn't get to see much. And I know the whole preseason, we're not going to see much. But that first game in New England is definitely going to tell us a lot, especially when we come back home and play that home opener against the LA Chargers. So in my honest opinion, I think playoffs is not out of the realm of possibility. It's just going to be really hard to see until the Raiders actually prove something and go out there and win a couple of games. I mean, it's any given Sunday, every single Sunday, so we'll have to wait and see. That being said, though, Raider Nation, man, if you guys do enjoy this video, if you guys want to see more hot takes, I'm planning to do this after every single game. I'll drop a post on my Instagram page to let you guys, voice your opinions. Give me your Raider hot takes, and then I'll drop a video throughout the week going over all of them. So, like I said, tap in with me on Instagram at Samoan Raider. Do not miss it. Until the next video, this your boy Samoan Raider, and your boys, yeah.